Hello students, my name is Surbhi Purwa. I am taking this course Python programming. I am from NIT Greater Noida. As we have discussed previously the concept of abstract data type, for today we are going to discuss a concept about object oriented programming in Python. So for today we are going to discuss what is the class, how we define a class, how we create object of any class, and how we use the different methods in any class. So going to very first slide of my presentation. This is the class definition. In Python, class is itself an object of type, and class definition creates an object. Unlike many other object-oriented language like Java, we have to explicitly create an object. But in Python programming, as soon as you are defining any class, it is automatically creating an object. So we have two different operations for any class. First is instantiation and the second is the referencing. With the in very first operation, that is instantiation, we are creating instance of any class. It means we are creating, like we are taking an example of complex number. So Z is here, which is creating an instance of class complex number, and the name of the instance is small z. And we can also use the referencing in my class definition. We can use this dot operator to access the attribute or function of any class. We can access different data or different function of any class with the help of dot operator. First, the name of object, Z is the name of object, dot, then the method of any class, then followed by bracket. Yes. So now we are taking an example. I am taking example for class of complex number. I am using the spider console for this particular programming. Yes, you can able to see all the code. First, I am discussing all the code which is there in the class complex number, then creating the object, and then discussing different functionality of the object. So the very first line of my program, it is import math. I am using different mathematical calculation or function in my this program. So I am importing this module by using the keyword import. As in the second line, you are able to see class is the keyword to create class. My name of my class is the complex num, and in the bracket you are seeing written object. Object is the superclass for any class in the Python programming. It inherits all the attribute and functionality of class object in the class complex number. We will discuss inheritance a bit later, but for now you can understand that object is a superclass which is going to be inherited by all other class in your Python programming. Then we have a triple quoted string that is calling is a doc string, and doc string is there to help you out while you are searching help and writing your class name in the Python console. Then we have a regular comment. We have hash, real and imaginary part are stored in real and image. Then we have def, double underscore init, double underscore, and bracket self comma r comma I. See, this is quite a topic of discussion why we are putting double underscore either preceding or succeeding. This is the Python convention, as init function is just like a constructor for any class. Whenever any object is created, this init function is going to be called, as it is either preceded by double underscore or it is succeeded by double underscore. And the very first argument self is here. It is a convention. We have to write the first argument as self. Then we have different argument as needed in my class, r equal to 0, and that is real part is equal to 0, and imaginary part, that is I equal to 0, and then we have a colon. One more thing is there, the name of any class always start with a capital letter. So you can able to see C is here capital letter. It is a capital C. So coming back to this function, double underscore in it, double underscore, we are initializing these real and imaginary part like this. We have self dot real is equal to r and self dot imaginary is equal to I. This is the convention of my Python programming. Self you can refer as just like the keyword this in your Java. So every time whenever any object is created, self is going to refer that particular object for which any function is going to be called. Then we have def double underscore str double underscore, and again it is having a parameter self. This is the function which is used to return a string representation of the complex number. It is just taking care of the representation of any object. So this time either we can have a plus ib type of object, or we can have a minus ib type of object. So in both the cases, it is here to represent join is equal to plus and join is equal to minus. Str, yes, it is going to be written str, it is a typecasting, self dot real plus join. It means either we can take it as plus or we can take it as minus, plus I times imaginary of str. Str of imaginary and brackets are closed, and initially we have a starting bracket. So it is going to be written bracket a plus or a minus ib type bracket close. These type of representation is taken care by this particular function double underscore str double underscore. Then we have a function get real. It is going to return the real part of any object. Then moving to the next slide, we have a one more function get imaginary part. It is going to return self dot image. Self is going to be passed as a default argument, and this is just a Python convention. We are using the word self over here. You can also use any word according to your convenience, but it is just a Python programmer habit to write it self over here. Then we have one more function absolute. It is going to be return the absolute value of any uh, complex number. Then we have a conjugate function. See, conjugate function is also going to be take a argument self, and it is going to return if a plus ib is the object. So with the help of this conjugate function, it is going to return a minus ib. Then we have def double underscore add double underscore self comma other. If suppose we are having two argument, add z1 comma z2, then self is going to refer z1 and other is going to be refer z2. This is the same thing which we have to follow in the next three function also. We have one more function for the subtraction. If z1 minus z2 is there, then self is going to refer z1 and other is going to refer z2. In the similar manner, we have multiplication, and in the next step we have division. We can also perform division operation on the complex number. You can see there are some types. So if there is no argument provided, you can able to recall double underscore in a double underscore function is going to be called as it is just acting like a constructor. We have another object z2 equal to complex num 2 comma 3. Then we have z3 equal to z2 dot conjugate. We have z4. Now these are some of the output statement which we are going to execute. In the next slide, I am going to show you the value of z1. Kindly look at the right bottom side as it is the Python console, output Python console, and you Kindly refer to line number 63 in my output side. Z1 equal to complex num hash creates 0 plus I0. And in the next line, I am marking over here Z1 equal to, you are checking the value of Z1 equal to 0 plus I0. And in the next line number 66, you are able to see that it is creating an object Z2 which is having a value of 2 plus I3. So every time whenever we are creating an object without argument, it is taking the default argument 0 plus I0, and when we are providing argument, then it takes the argument as we are providing in my object type. Then we have function, Z3 object, that is Z2 dot conjugate. This is what we have discussed in the very first slide, that is referencing. So Z2 is over here, and if you are able to recall the conjugate function, it is taking a simple argument a plus ib and returning a minus ib. And just checking this, Z2 equal to 2 plus I3, yes, there is a blue block. In the right bottom corner of your screen, there is a blue block which is showing the value of Z2. That Z2 having the value 2 plus I3. Now, are you able to calculate the value of Z3? Yes, it is the value of 2 minus I3. So, print statement is going to be present the value of Z3, that is 2 minus I3. Students, whenever a print statement is used to print the value of any object, that function which is going to be called internally by Python program is double underscore str double underscore. So this double underscore str function is there to take care of a nicely readable and printable message on your screen. Yes, in the right bottom corner, are you able to see the content? Conjugate of 2 plus I3 is equal to 2 minus I3. Then we have simple calculation function. We have Z2 plus Z5, Z5 minus Z2, and I think these both are very quite obvious. There is no need to explicitly discuss all these things. We have one more function Z5 by Z2. See, this time we are performing the division operation, and if you are able to recall that we are having a one more function in my class, double underscore true division underscore. It means it is giving me a result of the division of two complex number. In the next slide, when I am student, are you able to see this last statement 83? Print Z5 by Z1. So Z1 is the by default complex number that is firstly created by your class. Z1 equal to complex num 0 plus I0. So the value of Z1 is 0. So this time how we are going to perform the division operation? As we are very much aware that division by 0 is going to be throw an exception from Python interpreter side. Just a moment. See, so recalling that true division function, we have a try block and their corresponding except block. Try block, in my try block, I am putting this expression which can raise the exception. I am dividing the complex number, real part with the absolute value and imaginary part with the absolute value. So this statement can raise the exception. So we must have some handle routine for this particular statement in try block. So there is a facility provided by Python that we have a concept of raise, and we can provide our own message that division by this particular string is not defined. So whenever we are performing division operation, we should keep in mind that division by 0 is going to be produce an expression, and it should be properly handled in my class definition and in my definition of function true division. So that is all for today's class. Thank you, class.